What's up, everyone? It is your girl GL Beauty 87 here, aka Grace. And today we're gonna get to my non-traditional palette collection. So y'all know how makeup brands have certain formulas that they follow when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, and you know, like what looks they're gonna come up with eyeshadow palettes. I feel like these are ones that people made unique looks with that comes out of the box. So I should probably explain to you what I think a traditional eyeshadow palette looks like, and then maybe that'll help you as far as what I mean by non-traditional eyeshadow palettes. When I think of a traditional eyeshadow palette, and I feel like a lot of y'all feel like this, but you can comment down below and tell me if you feel differently. I feel like people usually use a lot of green and red and gold. So it'd be like the Huda Beauty Empowered palette. That'd be an example of a traditional holiday palette to me, because some people just like to use bright golds when it comes to the holiday time as opposed to using green and red. Some people do prefer to use green and red, and sometimes a little bit of like blue. So like those are the type of things I think of when I think of a Christmas palette. Those are the color palettes that I think of. So these are some palettes I feel like don't necessarily have that formula going on with them, and they're unique and outside of the box. So a lot of McGrath are gonna be in, because y'all know when she's coming out with those little quads every year, like the color stores are always unique and different to what I feel like people consider traditional Christmas palettes to be. And a few other brands have done that as well, where it's not just the traditional green and red situation going on, or a traditional neutral palette with golds or whatnot. But without further ado, let's get into it, girl, because it's snowing and I'm ready to go home. So the first one I have, which one is this? This is the Interstellar Icon from Miss Pat McGrath. So y'all can see it has a blue that transitions into a purple. She has a nice reddish, I guess this is like a brownish green gold shimmer to it. She has a traditional champagne and has like this aubergine-ish type shade. So to me, this isn't a traditional Christmas palette for the aforementioned reasons I just named in the beginning. So that's why I wanted to point it out. But as you can see in the mirror, it's clearly looking purple, but right there you see it's blue. So I miss when she did palettes like this. These are some of my favorite quads from her when she was doing quads for the holiday. I mean, I like the big mothership palette too, like the new set of 5 pans that she came out with this year. I wasn't a fan of, but I know she's trying to appeal to the more neutral people, because you know, people usually buy her stuff usually wearing out of neutral. I feel like they don't do that much color, but since she wanted to be unique and different for the colorfuls for the holidays, I feel like that's how we ended up with that. Next one I have is Risque Rose. Now this is one of my favorite ones. I think this was my favorite one from that one, and this was the only one that was actually made in Italy that year, because the other ones, if I remember correctly, had been made in China or somewhere else, or the USA. But I could tell by the quality of this one that it was made in Italy and it had the best quality on it. But this color story is stunning. Like, I love when she does pinks and rose tones with unique shades like this. Like this shade right here is so unique. It has like purplish and pink glitters to it, but it also has like a pewterish looking color to it. Then unfortunately she gave us this like dark brown, but I guess that's supposed to go with this, and then you can use the pink in the crease and have this fun shade on the lid. So since you didn't have many shades to work with, I feel like she did a good job with this. So I'm a fan. I'm glad it's in my collection. And I think I'm going to just show the last one that goes in this set. I think that's how I opened them up. Don't quote me. I might not have. So my apologies if I didn't. I honestly don't remember. The thing I hate about the Risque Rose box is like I don't know what it is about this part, but it always pops up, and then I have to like try to pull the whole thing out just to be able to put the palette back the way it's supposed to go in the box. So that's really aggravating, but it's like it's Pat McGrath, so you know you gotta keep all the boxes, because like she goes ham on the packaging. No, sorry, let me grab Risque. The last one is Flora Fantasia. So this is what it looks like. This definitely to me isn't a traditional Christmas palette. To me this seems like more of a spring or a winter wonderland type vibe, but I wouldn't consider this a Christmas palette with all these purples shades. This is my least favorite out of all of them in this collection, by the way. I feel like most people feel like that way though. Like, I feel like this shade is too light for me to do anything with, and then the rest of the shimmers in here aren't that great. This shimmer looks nice, but I feel like it just looks frosty on the lid and doesn't give too much of anything. This is a classic champagne, like she likes to put in everything. And the only shade I really cared about was this one right here. But it looks similar to another shade that's in the Rose Decadence palette. So it's like, is it really that great? Probably not. So that's my least favorite out of all the ones she came out with. But my favorite quads I'm about to show you now, I'm absolutely in love, obsessed, and raptured with them. They are just stunning. I feel like you should know which ones they are. They're the Bliss Astro quads, and I love them. So this is what's the name of this one? I forgot. It's a rose name. Crap, what is the name of this one? I don't see it on here either. So this is what it looks like. It's the rose one. It just, I don't see on the packaging what the name of it is. But it is simple. Oh, ritualistic rose. That's what it is. So this is ritualistic rose. As you can see, it's giving similar vibes to the other one. I feel like this one just has more glitter and sparkle to it. But I feel like the shade is about the same as that other shade I just showed you in Flora Fantasia. Again, you got your champagne shade. This time, this is what she was doing with bronzes before. And then you have this bluish. And this shade reminds me of a shade in Rose Decadence too, the same as that other one. So this one is a really stunning one though, because I love her Bliss Astro formula. So the fact that she gave us quads with it and nothing else, I'm like, can you do that again, please? Like, am I gonna have to wait 3 years for that though? Because we begged you like 3 years for this colorful palette we got now. So I'm just like, Now this is my all-time favorite quad right here. This is Nocturnal Nirvana. So that's where she got the colors for the palette that she came out with this year, Celestial Nirvana. I guess she was inspired by this palette. This is my favorite Astral Blitz quad out of all the ones Pat McGrath serves, honey. This is it. Well, we got my blue, my green, my purple, and this green shifts to like a purple. So you got 2 purples, I guess, technically. I heard some people say this purple dried out for them. I feel so bad because it's a great quad. I haven't had that issue. And then there's the classic gold for the inner corner. So you can put all 3 of these on the lid. Y'all know I would. And then have this in the inner corner. But y'all know me, I have to have some match. I couldn't just do that look. But I do really love that she has the blue, green, and purple quad. I'm like, yes, mother, give it to us. Give us all of it. So I'm trying to package this out though, because when I get ready to leave, like I told you, I'm trying to go. It's snowing. I'm not trying to play these games. The next one, well, let's get to all the Pat McGrath out the way. It's only, well, no, I got the bigger ones at the bottom. So I'm trying to get all the little ones out the way now. So the next one I have is Dark Star. Y'all remember these? I think these came out in, I forgot when they came out. 2016, 2017, 2019? I don't know. It was in the teens of the 2000s. So here's what it looks like. As you can see, again, this isn't traditional. I love how she likes to use cool tones, but then she still wants to give us all these gold shades. It's like, why couldn't we have had a silver for once? Like, you could have had your champagne gold or kept this gold and then a gold and a silver moment. I prefer that this be a silver and then you just put this bright gold in the corner if you need something. So you have the bright gold with these shades right here, and then you could have a silver when you use these shades right here. But you know, this is what she looks like. This is what I had to work with, so this is just what we're going with. It's fine. It's not that big a deal. Crap, I just put the plastic insert into the black. So I'm just glad it didn't fall on my pants because I have on beige white pants. So as you can see, the sun is coming in brightly now, but that doesn't change the fact it's still snowing, girl. So I'm hoping it melts off while I'm in here doing this. Next one I have is the Juvia's Place, the Nubian Royal. If y'all remember, this was their holiday collection from 2019 or 2020, I want to say. But as you can see, this isn't traditional colors at all. They had like an orange one as well, but y'all know I'm not a fan of orange. So here we are with the purple one. The thing I don't like is that this is a pressed glitter. It's like you could have gave us another shimmer shade. You could have gave us another matte, but no, you insist on giving us a pressed glitter. So I wasn't necessarily feeling the pressed glitter here, but I love the unique tones of purple they chose. Like I especially love this one right here, and then this shimmer right here. Those are really nice, and those are the 2 things that I reach for the most when I reach for this palette, just because I love those unique colors. I love finding unique colors of purple, because y'all know I love me a purple moment. So whenever I can find a unique color of purple, I'm all here for it. I'm available. I need to have it. So the next one I have is the Bijouette from Viseart. I actually just ordered a few Viseart palettes, so you'll see those coming soon. I ordered them because they were on sale on Viseart's website. The new one was on sale, and the 2 other ones were on sale. I was just waiting for the sale to come for me to, like, you know, show them. I mean, for me to buy them, because I'm like, lately y'all don't seem like y'all really interested and care about the Viseart stuff. So I was like, do I want to buy it? No, but I'm like, I will do a video on it. If you're interested, you can comment down below and tell me if you are or not, and then I'll go ahead and do the video. But here's what the Bijouette looks like. As you can see, it does have some of the traditional colors that I talked about. It has this deeper red, and then it has this green, but I feel like it has a lot of other colors that you don't traditionally think of too, like the purple and the blues and the greens that are here in this more fuchsia shade. So I feel like the first 2 rows are more traditional, and then they just doing some fun pops of color. So that's why I wanted to include it, because it's not truly traditional, and I'm trying to stick to the truly traditional palettes. Like the other Pat McGrath palette that I was going to include in here, it's more of a true traditional one. Like this one right here, what is it, Bronze Temptation. It's more traditional because it has, you know, like the green and the red. I know the red shifts to, I think, this weird other shade, but it's still more of a traditional palette than the Dark Star is, which is why I included Dark Star, not that one. That's a perfect example. So next we have In the Dark from Unearthly Cosmetics. I feel like this is Definitely not a traditional palette for a holiday by any means, but this was her holiday palette for last year, 2021. I just ordered the one for 2022. They say this is the small version of it, and the one I just ordered is supposed to be an extension of that palette. So as soon as it gets here, you'll see a video on it, and I might do swatch comparisons on both of these, just because I'm curious how the purples and the blues are going to look similar to the purples and blues in that palette, along with this shade called In the Dark, which looks like it's a deep eggplantish like plum with a little bit of navy in it. I don't think I've played with that one before. Have I played with this palette at all? Yeah, I've done a look with this palette before. I just feel like I didn't dip into that shade. But yeah, I really like this palette. The crazy thing is I didn't buy it when it first came out, so this is the edition that it came back out with after people begged her to bring it back. So that's how I ended up getting mine. I wasn't gonna buy birthday holiday kits. I like the Smell Like Holiday Spirit one better, but that has a little more traditional colors in it, so that's why I didn't bring it to show off. But that was my favorite Christmas collection from them last year. Next I have the Walhalla 2. If I remember correctly, this was a holiday palette a couple of years ago as well. They came out with Walhalla 1, and then this was the holiday palette along with that smaller one I just showed you, because they come out with multiple holiday collections. So I'm waiting on their holiday collection for this year. It looks like it's going to be their neutral palette they just showed. Karen Harris here on YouTube showed it on her community tab. But it was just real bronzy. Y'all know I'm not feeling it. It's the second bronzer palette they came out with this year, because that Earth palette they came out with was bronze, and I'm just like, I'm not feeling it. I need y'all to bring some color. They have brought a couple colorful palettes out though, because I own those, of course. It's Culture and then Garden of Juvia's, but you know. But anyway, this is what Walhalla 2 looks like. Y'all know this is my favorite of them. If they took this orange out and put something else in, I'd like it a million times better. But I like the majority of the palette. If they had just did more purples, I think I'd like it a little bit better though. But they already had the little purple quads. So how much purple do you need? I need all the purple. Everyone else doesn't. But this is what she looks like. And as you can see, she's not giving anything traditional whatsoever. Thus her being in this video. Next, I'm grabbing some of the recent ones now. I'm trying to get a mix of both. So we have the Natasha Denona Retro palette. Sorry, the Retro Glam palette, the midi one. This is what she looks like on the inside. If you all saw my video, you know I did a video on this. I compared it to the Mel Thompson one, and I did a whole video dedicated to Mel Thompson's bundle. So I like Mel Thompson's bundle more, to be honest, but I don't think that City Grace's holiday collection is just a tribute to Mel. Since this palette was coming out, they pushed out an alternative for people of my skin tone, because I feel like Mel's works better for my skin tone than this one does. It was a little light, it was a little ashy, and I wasn't necessarily feeling the vibes of it. But I did buy one of these for my Christmas giveaway for you all. Spoiler alert, so you all will be getting one of these, because I bought mine from her website when it first launched, and then she launched it on Sephora the day before the sale ended. So I was like, I'll be able to gift one of you all with it, and I'm happy to do that. So this is in the giveaway, but this is what she looks like. You know, this is what everybody begged her for and asked her for, so she finally came out with it. I just feel like I wish the tones were a little bit deeper, but you know, every palette isn't made for everyone, because sometimes Mother comes out with stuff that isn't made for me either. So I mean, you know, you just gotta think about it in that regard. Like they have to make stuff for everybody, because they have to piece their entire audience. So this one just isn't working for me, but the original retro she came out with did work for people who look like me. So. And I'm actually wearing some of Baby Retro on my eyes right now. So the next non-traditional Christmas palette is this Dionluvsmakeup Beauty Lightworks Volume 4. What is this? Transcendence palette. Here's what she looks like on the inside. I will say I like everything about this palette except the middle row, but I feel like that's what everyone's saying. So maybe she should have just make a smaller version of this, and then we'll all sell our big ones and just buy the smaller one, because I don't like any of the shades in the middle. I feel like when you wet them, they don't do a good job. They like look streaky and patchy when I tried to put it on this eyeliner. Then like these shades right here, they look really flaky and chunky on the lid. It's like I have older eyelids because I'm in my 30s, so it's like that doesn't look that great either. So it's like, I don't know what's going on with the middle row, but it's like nobody likes it, just from what I've heard. I like these shades at the top and the bottom, but if you all remember, I did a Battle of Love with this one and Unearthly Cosmetics is All I Ever Wanted Part 2. And the color stories looked pretty much the same. It's just the ones in the Unearthly one had deeper tone to them. So it had a deeper black base than the ones for Dionluvs's palette did. But otherwise, you know, they looked the same. And that one is much cheaper than this one is, of course. So I would honestly say go ahead and get that one over the Dionluvs one. And I hate to have to say that, but it's like those huge shades that are very difficult to work with. If you're not a makeup artist, I don't see the point of you grabbing that one. So just go ahead and grab the one from Unearthly. And she should be having a sale soon. Now, I don't know if All I Ever Wanted will be including that or not. But I'm figuring since brands like to break even and like, you know, be in the Black Friday, she'll probably let that be discounted for once. So take advantage if she does. Next, I have the Natasha Denona Trio Chrome palette. If you all remember, this was one of her holiday releases. So this is what it looks like on the inside. I did change, I think, one shade around in mine. It's just one shade though. I'm trying to remember where it is. I think it's one of the shades at the bottom I took from another palette because I felt like it was just too light and ashy and it wasn't working well for my skin tone. So this is what we're working with. I think the color story is nice. I think like there's better trio chromes and dual chromes from other brands, including the Danessa Myricks ones. I feel like they do a much better job than this one does. It's not that these are bad though. It's just like for what you can get from the indie market or what you can just get from Danessa Myricks herself, which is cheaper than this palette because the Danessa Myricks one is $125. This one is used to be $129. I think they might have went up. I know they went up. I just don't remember by how much. But I think they're $132 now, don't quote me, but for $132 I feel like you should just get, that's when I tell you to get the Danessa Myricks one, because it's like if you're mainly excited about trio chromes and dual chromes from a more popular makeup artist brand, you should buy the Danessa Myricks one, because these just ain't cutting it for me. Or just get the liquids that Natasha Denona has with the same shades in this palette, because she started off with liquids of those colors for like $26, so just buy one of those and I feel like it'll be worth it as opposed to buying that. So the next palette I have to talk about is the Mercury Retrograde. Now if you all remember me, then you remember I don't like this palette. I know a lot of other YouTubers do, but I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. Like these shades up here are nice, but I feel like they weren't giving like they needed to be giving for the price point of this palette. And I don't know what it is. I'm just not excited. Like I know it's supposed to be in quads, but it's like this is a quad like Pat McGrath did, and then this is a quad. And then this is a quad on its own, but it's like, I don't know, I just don't like this palette. I keep it for reference. I ended up buying mine off somebody on Poshmark for like $30 because this shade had broke right here, so she just sold it, and I think she said Sephora sent her a replacement. I was like, fine with me, you know, like I don't really care about this palette as is. I just got it to like have to review or whatever, and I wasn't gonna pay full price for it because I'm really not feeling the colors for it. You think I would because it has so much color in it, but it's like when I auctioned it off, when I sectioned it off the way I just did, I feel like you saw there wasn't really that much color except on the end, and she managed to put a whole bunch of neutral mattes in here as usual. I want to see her do like more deeper colorful masks for once in her life, because she always just wants to give you these dark brown masks with all these colorful fun things, and it's like, no, I want something different. I want something different. Anyway, next I have the Lime Crime Greatest Hits Bangers. So my girl Amy, aka Beauty Deals BFF2, she had posted a deal on getting this for 50% off, and I was so excited to have it in my collection because I do like the fact that it's a unique color story. I hear it's just the greatest hits from all the palettes that they've sold over the years, and they combine them into one palette. But my whole thing is like, I feel like that's why it doesn't necessarily make it a cohesive color story, which is what made it hard for me to use. But I still like the palette. I think I'm gonna end up keeping it. I had it up for sale on Bakerie, but because I broke the mirror, I don't want to give anybody that. But since I never took the tape off the mirror, I figured it would be fine. I don't know. Y'all can tell me down below if you think I should sell it or not, just because the mirror is broke, because I don't want anybody saying, you know, like, because in the picture it's not broken, but I forgot how it ended up breaking. But I'm just glad I didn't take the tape off because it could have messed up the shadows and then somebody bought it. But I like the color story of it. I like their new holiday collection this year even better though. Like, it's a cute little 4-pan. They have some nice lipstick colors to go with it. I'm actually thinking about picking that up if they do 50% on their site like they normally do, because I'm definitely here for it and interested in that quad. So Lime Crime has good stuff. I just feel like it's more of they've fallen off when it comes to what they're doing, and they're rebranded. I'm hoping will help them along, because I do like their stuff. And since the problematic owner is gone completely, like she doesn't make any profits or any earnings in any way, I'm like everybody else, I'm more prone to being okay with buying from them now. But you know, they just got to come out with some fun stuff now. That's all. Next I have Blend Bunny's All Done Up palette. This is what she looks like on the inside. I love the way she always sets up the colors for people who might not necessarily know how to come up with a look. She has them all set up in a line, and you just go down that row and pick them. Or you can be like me and just pick all over the palette and do whatever you please. I'll do both depending on what kind of mood I'm in. But, you know, I really like this palette. And I'm glad to have it in my collection. I love all my Blend Bunny palettes equally. I will say this one and then the Dollhouse one, I still need to do a look with together, because I feel like both of those will go perfectly together. But yeah, I like this palette. I hope she does more palettes like this size range, because the other ones are just so big and people don't really like big palettes. I know some people do, so I'm not trying to speak for everyone, but as a general rule, from the majority of the people I've heard in the beauty community, they talk about how they loved her formula, but they didn't like how big her palettes were. So I was glad she listened and came with a smaller one. But I'm sure she had those other ones at productions when people were making those complaints. So she had to like have time to like make a smaller one and give us what we asked for. So next, y'all know I had to show Celestial Nirvana. I was so excited about this palette. I'm so excited the mother put some colorful masks in there, because we've been saying that forever. So we finally got the colorful masks we asked her for, and they were absolutely amazing. But you see how it's kind of similar to the way Huda Beauty put hers off? Like, instead of it being blue and green together though, or like purple and green together, I feel like she also knows differently. See, that's her version of Huda's with the green, except Huda's was mint. Then there's the I guess pink, purple, and blue, and then there's the more neutral one, if you will. So I feel like when I hold my hands together in this kind of looks similar to the latest palette that they came out with from Nomad, because you have the greens and the reds, and I feel like that's what their palette is mainly known for. But I really love this palette. I'm actually going to do a video where I rank all my holiday palettes. I did it a couple of years ago. I think you all liked it, if I remember correctly, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. You can tell me down below though if you're not interested though, but I just think it's fun to rank all the holiday palettes I have in my collection, just for this year, just to try out. I'm not gonna try to rank every single one, because girl, we'd be here forever, because you see how many I got just for non-traditional. So imagine how many I would have if I started from when I started my YouTube career in 2015, girl. No, I think I started YouTube in 2018, sorry. So it's like sort of 4 years, girl. Next I have the Celestial Divinity one. I did not bring the one in between these two, the Odyssey, just because I feel like the Odyssey is the most traditional of the other three. But this one I don't feel like it's traditional either, because she literally just put the Star Wars palettes in here. If y'all remember, this was the Darth Vader one. This was the, what is his name? The gold guy, I don't remember his name, sorry. And the middle part is just a new one. So I feel like although it does have some reds, I feel like it's pulling more berryish, more purplish, and just a little bit of gold. And I don't feel like that's a traditional color story either when it comes to palettes. So this is the last palette I have to talk about that's part of my non-traditional eyeshadow palette collection, in my opinion. So let me know down below what you think about this video as far as my non-traditional palettes. Do you see these as traditional color stories? Because I just didn't, and that's why I was like, I'm gonna talk about them here. But those are all the palettes I had to show you all today. If you're curious what's on my lips, this is Cowgirl from, what's her name? Gwen Stefani's makeup line. This is one of her liquid lipsticks I just got. I literally just did a face of all the stuff I got in my Sephora haul part 2. And I'll give y'all like the end result at the end of the night on how I wore. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all the diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye. It's time for me to go home, girl. It's snowing.